welcome to the very first Saturday night live call with Tyrant Finder UK. I'm your host, Tyrant Finder UK. It's your stories, your voice. So how is everybody tonight? I'm thrilled to have you all here and join me tonight for what is promising to be an interesting and interactive show. So let's see who we got in. Hi Sabrina, can you all hear me 5x5? Hello, let's do. Who else we got in? Ian, Lisa, Christine, how is everybody? Let's wait for a few more of you to jump in. Tonight we are launching this platform to give you, our community, the opportunity to share your stories and ask questions and voice your opinions. This show is all about engaging with you directly. And so don't hesitate to call in and be part of the conversation. Hello Debbie, how are you? So let's kick off tonight with one of the biggest news stories of the week. Let's have a little look, see what we got. Yeah, let's kick off tonight with one of the biggest news stories of the week, the 2024 general election. Labour's, led by Keir Starmer, has won the historic landslide victory, ending 14 years of Conservative rule. This is a significant shift in the UK political landscape. But as you can see, I've been doing a little bit of research into this, and by the poll, numbers don't lie. It wasn't such a landslide victory. The guy, Keir Starmer, fielded less votes than his predecessor did in the last election, whereby I think Starmer only got 16,000 votes, whereby Jeremy Corbyn, I think it was a lot more, or 25,000 votes, if someone can check that, I do believe. Another exciting development this week in the world of politics is the introduction of Britain's youngest MP, Sam Carlin, who won the North West Cambridgeshire seat for Labour at just 23 years old. Do you want to see him? Do you want to see him? Do you really want to see him? Bless him, old Sam. There he is. Oh, bless Sam. He is now Parliament's baby of the house. It's inspiring to see young people get involved in politics and making a difference. Who writes this shit? Oh, sorry, I did. There he is, old Sam, the baby of the house. Also in the news is the state opening of Parliament, which is due to be convened on the 9th of July 2024 with the election of the Speaker and the swearing in of the new members. The state opening of Parliament and the King's speech is scheduled for the 17th of July this year. So just in a couple of weeks. Didn't take old Sam off. I'm messing up all the pictures now. Also in the news this week is climate change is also the hot topic this week, with the news report highlighting the significant progress in the recovery of the ozone layer and ongoing challenges relating to the biodiversity of global warming. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, we are in July and I don't think I've seen the sun once yet. It is it's out this evening when the children are coming in, haven't been out all weekend. Where is the climate change? London has experienced allegedly one of the hottest summers on record, raising concerns about the city's preparedness for extreme weather events. It's raining outside, for fuck's sake. Is there any? Is it? So anyway, if you wanna have your say on these issues, the phone number's at the bottom of the screen. Do call in and have your say. And also on an economic front, cost of living is on the way up. This is another subject that I want to talk about tonight. Is how's everyone's feelings on the cost of living? We've now got a Labour government. Do you feel that we're going to see some easing of cost of living, or is it going to get ever worse? Also in the news this week, Team GB has confirmed the athletic squad for the Paris 2024 Olympics. It's nice to see a lot of diversity going on in there with names include Diane Asher-Smith, Katarina Johnson-Thompson, that's a bit of a name for my teeth, and Laura Moore and Mo Farah, amongst others, in an exciting time for British athletics, and we can't wait to see them compete in the world stage. Yeah, they think it's appropriate to change the Union flag, and they've even changed the 3 rings of the Olympics to the nice little Team GB colours. Absolutely mental, if you ask me. And also in the news this week, the backlash continues over Prince Harry's recent award of the Veteran Award. Critics have voiced about their concerns regarding the decision, speaking of significant debate. Meanwhile, Prince William is making headlines for his attendance at the 2024 quarter-finals, with his presence to attract considerable media and public attention. So tonight's questions that I want you to come in and debate with this evening are, let me just give it a, sorry guys, it's not, because the next time I bring it in, it will yeah. So here are some questions I want callers to come in with tonight. What do you think about Labour's victory in the 2024 general election? What are your expectations for the new government prioritising in the King's speech? What steps should we be taking to address the climate change or lack of it and prepared for extreme weathers? How are you coping with the rising cost of living, and what action should the government take? And are you excited about the Team GB athletic squad for the Paris Olympics 2024? And what's your take on the backlash of Prince Harry surrounding Prince Harry's Veteran Award? So phone lines are open now. This is the time of the show that it's you to take over, because other than that, it wouldn't be your show, would it? Let's wait. Let's say hello. Paul Fisher saying Keir was selected. Gonna be the same, Tracy. So we'll phone lines are open. I'm just gonna top up my cup. So don't be afraid. Come and have your say. This is your time now, guys, not mine. You see old Sam Carlin, though, the new MP. You know, he's one of those kids at school that were in a geek squad, wasn't it? 23. Maybe he brings some young politics into. He certainly don't bring any life experience into this whole thing, does he? Starmer will take us to war, has Dex stated. This is a show to call in, don't be afraid. You know, I'm doing it. I was expecting trolls tonight and everyone don't like me anymore, do I? I'm not popular. I'm not popular. Turn that off. Hello, Laterist. How are you? Good evening to you. I hope you're well. So, personally, I don't let Nightbot say hello, but you need that personal. Turkey 1-0 up. Anyone watched the football this evening? I watched the last 10 minutes and I thought, well, they were lucky to win. You know, if it wasn't... I watched the last 10 minutes and they could have scored twice in that 10 minutes, old Switzerland. What does that chair look like? There. It's the holes. It's like one of those racing chairs, isn't it? Where you get the harnesses put through the back. Yeah, you got to say hi to get a reply from Nightbot. I do need Nightbot running for something I use, but other than that, all the commands can come through Stream Elements, I reckon. I'm waiting on your calls, guys. Numbers on the screen. I hope it's that right number. Yeah, it is, because... yeah, I gave it to somebody earlier. I think it was 48% didn't vote. That tells me people are waking up. Now you look at it, right? 9.3 or 9.4 million people voted. That was a poor turnout, wasn't it? That was less people than what turned out to vote for Brexit. Wasn't it? Ah, we've got a call coming in. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine. Can the chat, this is the thing, can the chat hear you?
Say that again, you're really quiet.
I was really quiet, was I?
You're really quiet at the moment.
Hang on a minute, let me just boost my mic. Is that any better?
That's better.
Yeah, I just had to boost my microphone just a tad. Can the chat hear our M's?
You knew who I was already, didn't you, my babbers?
I can hear you, my babber, because you got the same accent as I.
That's it. Don't want no other one ringing in with a quiet microphone because you can't hear them.
No.
No, that's it.
Go on. Cost of living, Em. How's it affecting you?
Well, I'm fucked at the moment, mate.
Yep.
Even though I've had to go through banks, struggling to pay bills, I've had my internet cut off. So I can't see anyone that's talking to you. It's only because I get 50 megabytes a day.
So basically...
It popped up earlier.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I can't afford to live, do you know what I mean? At the moment. I've actually had to go and pinch a few bits of meat from the supermarket. Say that out loud, but yeah.
Well, you can, no one can identify where you are.
At the end of the day, yeah, I've had to do it. I've had to go and pinch a bit of food and do you know what I mean?
Well, you're doing what you need to do to survive, aren't you? You know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely crap. So I can't see what the conversation is about tonight, so obviously you'll have to, cost of living crisis. When I got my gas was on SSE last year, and I got moved over to OVO. That was automatic move over because SSE had stopped supplying, have you. Then I had a £328 debt on my account, which was
from
with SSE.
Yeah.
SSE. I rang them up and they said, no, we can see. Have you ever had a debt with us? Have you ever borrowed money? I said, no, I'm pay as you go. So what I put on is what I put on. Do you know what I mean? If I borrow emergency, I pay that back. And I pay a little bit extra back on that. So that was cleared. And then OVO, all of a sudden, a few months ago, started taking £1 a day off of my account.
For the debt?
Of the debt.
Yeah, like they normally do.
Yeah, it went on. It went on there before, and then all of a sudden it went on. I was like, what the hell? I will have to go into that. I said, look, I'm telling you now, SSE blocked that. They said it wasn't there. So I mean, they took it off. It went on there, and then all of a sudden this appeared on here, and it'd taken £1 a day. Lucky enough, I hadn't used the heating in a while, but that's hot water. That's gas. I don't run my oven on gas, but it's ridiculous the amount that is coming out. Do you know what I mean? And
I think most people's.
Yeah,
I think most people's is this now this time of year. It's just for hot water, isn't it? They're not firing their boilers because of the heating. But being the time of year it is, I've had my heating on in July of steel.
Oh, it's ridiculous! It was freezing yesterday. What's going on?
And they say, they're saying we're heading for a climate emergency. I can't see it being heating up.
No, not at all.
No, it's just.
I sat out there the other day in the rain in the morning. I got a canopy in my garden where the trees come over, so it's a bit of a canopy. And I was sat out there the other day, and it's like, right, it's July. Right, I've got none of my wildflowers coming through properly.
No.
My berries are crazy. Like my thorns are going crazy. I've had to cut them back already a few times this year. But where's my wildflowers? Where's the wildlife that we should have? Do you know what I mean? Looking at the sky the other day, I said to Chris, look up, and he was like, what? I went, normal airplane there. I said, look, chemtrails.
Yeah.
And he looked and he was like, oh yeah. He said, didn't notice that. I said, normal airplane. I said, deposits. I said, evaporate. I said, chemtrails. I said, stay in the sky. I said, you can see them disperse across.
It was to me, a normal contrail would dissipate after
absolutely
after a few minutes. You'll see it slowly disappearing behind. But these sort of trails that I'm seeing now, more and more and more, they seem to get wider and get like a. They put
absolutely, and you can see a vibration in the sky, like where it's actually.
It's like a ripple,
do you know what I mean?
through the sky, and it puts like what I call an overlay over the sky.
Yeah. So the sun's not coming through. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I find the sun is a lot stronger now. They're saying we're heading. Well, we're heading for a polar shift. Okay, the sun is becoming, really increasingly unstable, and we know the sun affects our gravitation, and so does the moon. So we're heading for solar flares, this, that, and the other. Now, if you look at the sun now, correct me if I'm wrong. The sun has always been this big yellow thing in the sky. Looking at it now, it's just a big white thing in the sky.
It's not.
There's
the same, is it? When we were kids,
was there colour to the sun when you was a child? I'm sure.
Can you remember looking at the sky and making shapes out of the clouds? And then morphing.
Yeah, not so much now. It's not so much you're looking at the sky and seeing real clouds where you go, look at that horse or hippo, pig.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Things have morphed back in the day, wouldn't they? Do you know what I mean? Well, back in the day, it's like I said, back in the day, no one's got an imagination anymore. I was walking down the road the other day and all the kids just on their phone. And one girl, she was in the park, kicked her bike over. She was about 15. I said, what's the matter? My chain's come off. I said, don't know how to put a chain on. She was like, no, do you want to help me?
Yeah.
So I walked up, I put it back on for her. She was like, oh, well, you've got dirty hands now. I went, do you know what? I said, as a parent, I would love you to come home with dirty hands and say, put my chain back on my bike.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
I was yesterday. I had like this young girl that was dressed like a boy who thought she was a girl, who thought she was a boy.
Oh,
You know,
don't.
tried to kick, tried to kick me off my scooter, and thought it was funny. Like a 48-year-old man and a mere child, thinking it's hilarious, trying to kick me off my scooter. And I thought,
it's ridiculous. We walked through the park the other day with the dog, and Chris was like, "Have a look at this," and I was like, "What?" And I seen the person, young man, woman, walk through with green eyeliner on, bit of a goatee.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Belly top on.
The normal ones you see in Bristol now. Especially around you, Bedminster. How do you survive down around there?
Yeah, and he was like, "Have a look at that." I went, "Yeah." He went, "I went to fucking war for that fucking cunt."
Do you know it's going to get worse right now when all that student accommodation opens up? They've got all those high-rises they're building down on the Malago.
Yeah. And he's ready to lose the plot. He says, he says, someone like that, he said, actually cries at me because someone's hit him.
Yeah.
Or it.
Yeah.
He said, I'm actually going to lose the plot. He said, and hit him even harder. He said, because what's the country coming to? And I was like, well, it went ages ago. Do you know what I mean? The country. I said, do you know what I mean? The pride of the country and people fighting back and standing up. I was in, where was I? Lidl. 3 days ago, so I had my cash on me. I was 5p short my shopping. So I'm in my 40s. I'm not ashamed. Someone got 5p, please. Anyone got a spare 5p?
It's getting like that for a lot of people, and it's a shame because I'm in the same position. I've said it. I'm £1,500 in my overdraft now. My wife is £1,400. We got 4 children, you know, and we rely on our very little benefits, and I can see now, you know, Labour's got in. We've got the next 5 years of a Labour government, and I cannot see, you know, they want to cut our benefits.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Yeah, but we're all just benefit scroungers, aren't we, Em?
Yeah. Well, absolutely. Do you know what I mean? No one's served their country. No one's put in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one's actually done anything, have they?
Oh, no, you've been on benefits all your life, Em.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you must have been, you know, that's what you get, and that's the stick.
I've never worked at all. I've done 12 years in the bloody supermarket, another few in the factory. Do you know what I mean? I've worked. I've worked as a fishmonger in the supermarket. Give me a fish, I'll get it.
I wish I could do some sort of work now, but I'd be no use to anybody. Absolutely no use. I'll be more of a hindrance.
Well, this is it. People don't even see that, though, do they? They just see a face and they assume. Yeah. That's the thing. People don't ask questions anymore. People don't get to know people.
I think
that's
it's
our
how
problem in society.
But, you know,
society, yeah. It's gone downhill.
If you haven't got a physical disability with like one arm, you know, and stuff like that, people don't see it. You know, but people without any sort of physical disabilities are sometimes quite disabled. In other words,
this is it, right? Now listen to this, and I'm not laughing. The woman that was there to take that concert from Gloucester, respect to her and her kids, because I've seen you before I went in. I couldn't come out because I was getting told off for losing the space. Yeah. You had a queue, didn't you? Yes. Basically, there was a lady in front of us at Take That concert that was moaning about being pushed. So we're stood at the front. Right. And then all of a sudden we were like, no one's pushing you, my love. The woman behind us was like, is she actually moaning? I turned around, I went, yeah. And she went, well, I'm an amputee. And she actually took her amputee leg off. And I was like, wow. And I turned around, I looked at the woman, I went, you're moaning. I went, there's an amputee there.
And she's standing up.
Legless. I went, is she standing up? Do you know what I mean? And she patted me on the back, she went, I love it. She went, you don't care, do you? I went, I say how it is. Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's what you go to a concert there for, isn't it? You're going to get pushed. Do you know what I mean? You're going to take that concert. You're stood at the front, on pitch. You're not in a seated area. Don't complain you've got a bad back. There's someone there legless. Do you know what I mean? it's just a strange way. But I did shout out your name, and I did hear you. I did wave. I did see you come in the end. A few people did. A few people did take your name out, and they were like, "What?" I went, "If you're not sure about the world and the perspective of society and where life's going, just have a look." And there was a different opinion there. And they were like, saying that though, like, you know, all the Palestinian protests that are going on in Bristol now. I've learnt now not to comment on their
Facebook
I don't
pages.
even bother.
Right, because you end up getting blocked. Now,
Yeah.
a month ago, 2 months ago now, I commented as myself, as in my personal,
Yeah.
Facebook page, and I asked them, can we open up a dialogue about the hostages?
Yeah.
Instantly blocked from it, right?
Absolutely, they've got nothing to say.
So I can view that account through. I can then still see it through my Tyrant Finder page.
Yeah.
Right, so I just log in through my page, but I never commented on that page at all. I joined the group, right, and they got like 6,000 things, so they ain't gonna. So I went on there yesterday to have a look if there's any protests today that I can go and attend and cover this, that, and the other. And
Yeah.
I went on there and I'm like, where's the site? I can't find it. Well, I've only been blocked from it, haven't I? And I've never commented.
Have you?
Yeah, I've never commented on that actual page as Tyrant Finder UK.
They've been told to have a look through their page, and your name's flagged up. Do you know what I mean? Don't have him on your page. Obviously, he's going to come down and try and get some truth behind this.
Yeah, but I've never caused trouble at the Palestinian.
Yeah, but you're going to come down and try and get truth and ask questions that they're not comfortable in you asking.
In fact, I can quite, if this whole, what they should be saying with this whole Palestinian demonstration, they need to out Hamas from Gaza, right?
Yeah.
They should be saying free Gaza from Hamas.
Yeah.
Right. End of story. But then again, one man's terrorist is the next man's freedom fighter, isn't
Absolutely.
it? This is what they're looking at.
It's
They're
like
looking
someone
at
said
Hamas
the other
as
day,
freedom fighters.
Barclays Bank's been closed down in town, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean? On numerous days. And I don't know if it's closed down for good now because I don't go in town that much. I can't bother with it. Do you know what I mean? I don't like people. I don't like materialistic people that are just down there to shop.
Yeah.
I think people irritate me. Oh, I'm a bit of a hermit now. But I know do you know what I mean? I know, like, when I go down there, it's just like, wow. And then listening to people talk, it's like, is that all you're concerned about? Like, is that all you see? Is your 2 weeks abroad? Is your, do you know what I mean? There's more to life than that.
Yeah.
Like, look, Wilder is, I don't know. I'm just old, I think.
Yeah, Roy's saying all the Palestinian it's all dying out now. Then the numbers are dwindling within the Bristol marches. I did notice today, London march.
Of course, it's the Green Hour Parade that's gone to find something else. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, university students. Do you know what I mean? I ain't got a clue.
Well, universities will be breaking soon for summer, won't they? So.
And some of them are old fuckers, ain't they? They're just grooming the young ones, so they don't say anything about that, do they?
Well, I see all the old ones that marching around with them are the Piers Corbyn age, what I call the failed communists. That's it. But
it's just a strange world we're living in, isn't it?
It's this whole thing now. I am scared. I was scared before, cost of living sort of like crept up on me over time. And you don't really notice it when it creeps up on you. And you do notice like you're going a little bit more in your overdraft, but then you think, I'll be able to sort that out next week. But the next week never comes, and the following week you're further in it and further in it.
Well, this is it. You know personally, in my circumstances, my partner, of course, had a heart attack in February. So we haven't been able to work. So we are literally on the breadline. Now, he suffers with PTSD. He hasn't had a doctor since he left the army.
Wow.
So that was 14 years ago. So when he had a heart attack, that was the first time he seen the doctor in the hospital. 14 years. Like, he couldn't get a doctor because even the army, he didn't know how to live because it was done for him.
Yeah, well, this is it. But when you're in the army so long, it's
so
like being in prison.
Years. He was institutionalised.
You become and it's the same thing as prisoners are in prison. You become institutionalised. The only difference with being in the army, you get to go home at night.
Yeah.
So
he said, like, do you know what I mean? He couldn't deal with things, and like letters and doctor's appointments. Like, I had a phone call yesterday. That he's missed his doctor's cardiac, and they've basically said he's no longer, what's the word? I can't think of the word. he's been taken off the list.
Oh, he's been taken off the list and been put back to GP care.
Yeah, and I said, right, okay. I said he suffers from PTSD. She went, oh, I understand this can trigger him. I went, right, okay. I said, it's not on his file. I said, he's a veteran. I said, and he's been diagnosed with PTSD. I said, he didn't realise he had PTSD. I said, it's all come out since the heart attack. Even though I've said over the years, you need to see people. Do you know what I mean? I said, it's on his own back that he's had to do it. And the last 3 weeks, he's gone AWOL. Do you know what I mean? He said, I've got to get away, I've got to go. And I'm like, what do you mean? He went, I've got to go, I can't handle things. And I was like, okay, well, ring me. Do you know what I mean? I need to know you're all right. And he stayed in a caravan for 3 weeks.
What, on his own?
In a field with a friend, do you know what I mean, that he knows. But he said he had to get away.
Get away from
He couldn't handle life.
Yeah.
He couldn't handle this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I've had to back off.
See, that's quite difficult for you being a partner as well, because you want to be there for them.
Do you know what I mean? I'm stressed out.
Yeah.
I deal with things, do you know what I mean? And it's not like I can get a bus to where he is every day and go and check on him and do all the rest of it. I've just got to know that when he went, he was all right in the sense that he wasn't going to do anything stupid. It was just that he couldn't deal with, like he said, paperwork.
See, there are places, you know PDST Camp Bath, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, if he wants to get away, there are people there that are going through the same things as him. All right?
He's got to recognise that, though, hasn't he?
That's the first road to recovery, isn't it? First road to recovery is actually admitting you have got some sort of
he was shocked when the
problem.
doctor said, like, you've got PTSD quite bad, and this compact PTSD. He was like, really? And I sort of looked at him, I was like, yeah, and I sort of said a few things. He burst into tears. And they went, okay. And I was like, yeah. I said, he's not in a good place, do you know what I mean? But as a partner, I had to break those walls down in a sense and make him cry for him to acknowledge it.
That's the way you've got to do it sometimes, is actually make them, push them to that limit where they actually just break and they have to.
But it's like he said, he got no extra help. So I mean, he don't feel like he got any extra help.
Speaking with the mental health, there was I have got a bit of the news here that within the NHS they are going to get more funding for mental health issues. But whether or not, we know whether the underfunded.
Like today, under Labour, what's going to happen now? And I was like, oh, I don't think that, you're protected, do you know what I mean?
Well, I can see full-on communism coming. We think full-on commie. It's going to go full-on commie. You know, for authoritarian.
Of course it is. I said it's followed by a playbook. Because he was like, oh, reform. I went, yeah, but it's followed by a playbook. I said, do you know what I mean? I said, my God, I said, all these people that are in on it and that have come out of it, I said, just look at their history.
You've got WEF, the WHO, World Health Organization chairman, what's his name? He's come back, he's
just been coming, hasn't he? Valence, isn't it?
He's just been given a somewhat of a Valence, but then again, the WHO chairman, World Health Organization just congratulated Starmer on his victory, and he's going to be happy to work with him. So
there we go.
You know, mate, that is what you will, It's
just rubbing shoulders with the other ones, isn't it? It's all a club.
Well, we know it's all controlled. The King, the King met Starmer. They're all in the same club now, isn't it? And we're all.
But tell people that. It's like I said to Chris earlier. I said, the Crown prosecution of Jimmy Savile thingy. I said, that's like our Prime Minister now. And he went, well, it ain't his fault then. I went, well, it is. They all fucking knew back then. I went, they all fucking knew. And he sort of looked at me. I went, I don't care what you say. I said, like, listen, they all knew. This is all playbook. I said, Sunak already congratulated it. I said, Sunak was already telling people this is going to be a landslide victory. They're preparing you. They're telling you. They're already conceding it. I said, back in the day, they wouldn't have conceded that. I said, so, do you know what I mean?
He practically, Keir Starmer resigned his party leader at his election defeat at the count. We were watching it. He actually said, "This is, I am stepping down as leader." He's not stepping away from the party completely, but as he says, but I guarantee you, he is. He stepped away from that party now.
Absolutely. Right, I'll let you have another call anyway.
Okay, Em. Thanks for calling. I do appreciate it.
I just wanted to say hello, everyone. Hello, goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Right.
Ta-da,
anyway, come on, England.
Yeah. We need to get the win now. We need to get the win.
No, that was bad, wasn't it? We're playing Turkey by the looks of it at the moment.
Well, I was looking. Turkey was 1-0 up. I don't know what the score is now.
Still 1-0 up at the moment.
So, we're all good on that front. But
I don't know on that front. Turkey, England, they're playing well.
Got the next call coming through.
That's it, right. I'll speak to you later.
I'll speak to you
care.
later. Bye, love.
Right,
Bye.
Bye.
Hello? 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 You are live?
Yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Yeah, you're live. Just going to be... What's that?
Hello?
Hello? We can hear... Everyone can hear him, yeah? I can hear him. Hang up. Did everyone hear him then? Yeah, it was a bit weird. I was hearing him. So that was a bit... That was a bit on the weird side, that was. Maybe again. Yeah, you all heard. Yeah, Em is a diamond. She's been with me a long time. His old Ems. I had two other calls coming through. But yeah, as Em was saying, she's having difficulties with the cost of living. She freely admitted. No, I wasn't Welshie. I got Welshie's number. Stopped again. Here we go. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, you can hear me?
Yeah, we can all hear you.
Oh, I have a story for you.
Go on then, tell us a story.
It's too private for YouTube.
Say again.
It's too private for YouTube.
Oh, it's too bad for YouTube.
No, private.
Private? Oh, too private for YouTube.
I need to talk to you personally.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've got my number, and I'll let you know. Corruption in the police.
Corruption in the police. Now this is a good subject for the corruption within the police. We know it's what can you allow us? Can you pray tell us which force it deals with? Hampshire. Okay, so you want to talk privately?
Hampshire.
Yeah, Hampshire. Okay, have you got a name I can contact you under?
Bob.
It's a fake call because if you noticed, right, it was waiting for me to ask the questions and then they were typing the answer. It wasn't a flowing conversation whereby I had to ask the questions and then the answers came. And that's the same number again. It wasn't. If you're a real call, you can drop a text to that number and explaining everything, and I'll get back to you. But I don't believe it's actually a real call. It sounded like a AI bot. They heard the answers and then type the answer. You see what I mean? Yeah, Lisa agrees. It wasn't a flowing conversation as you would, like me and Em had. She understood every question. You know, it was a back and forth. This wasn't a back and forth. So nice try. Number blocked. AI. 100% AI, guys. 100%. The sound level's down. Yeah, it was down on them. I boosted their sound level right to the top of my mixer, right? And that would be blowing the sound out normally if it was being put through some sort of sound mixer their end, and it was compressing their sound, so I wasn't. Yeah. Anyway, you know what I mean. C'est la vie, innit? C'est la vie, c'est la vie. Chris, can you shut down the show and talk just to me? Laugh out loud. Was that you calling, Roy? Because I don't believe it wasn't a real call in my eyes. It was like two. Anyway, I'm not getting put off track. Keir, ring in. Keir Starmer. That's what would be good, isn't it? Get Keir Starmer to ring in. Why did I just spark that up? I wasn't. I was going to roll a doobie-doob, wasn't I? A doobie-doob, doobie-doobie-doob, doobie-doob, doobie-doob-doob-doob. The phone line is open. I'm just waiting. I've got to turn that headset down. See, I've got to be able to hear it when the call all comes in. 420 time, 420 time, 420 time. Yes, it is. I can't believe there's 97 of you watching, right? And not one person actually wants to call and have it. If you don't want to talk about any of the topics that we've got on show tonight, we can talk about anything. This is your show. Same number again. Same number again. Rings twice, hangs up. I'm so good that this is my personal number. No, I'm not. Can't dox people's numbers. I can't be doing that. Oh, anyway, got a video to show you. This is yeah, it's quite a weird one actually. No, I don't want to put a new scene, and I want to put a video. Did I put the video in? Did I put a video into? Did I put the video in? Yeah, I did. No, I didn't. I only saved it off. No, I don't want a new scene. Cancel. Let's go into this one. Did you all media source, browse file, desktop? Didn't quite shit. Now this is the problem now. When I fade it in, fade it out. Right, I've got to oh, fuck's sake. Fade it in. This is, I didn't set this up for the show, so this is the only problem. Media source. Shit. Monitor and output. we all watched the election, didn't we? And this is Debbie Hicks when she got defeated in Swindon. That was Debbie Hicks there showing her disgust at her defeat within the election. Don't know how many votes she got, to be honest. Ashley Styles said a few years back I tried to get a 90k mortgage with a £35,000 cash deposit and was told get lost. My credit score was 999, excellent. My salary was 40k tax free, and you still didn't get a mortgage. They don't want you own. Well, really, where does your deeds live to your house? When you own a house, where does your deeds live? In the bank normally, don't you? Or live with your solicitor. Do you actually hold your deeds to your house if you have a house? Put one in the chat if you're lucky enough to own your own property, that you've got your deeds in your possession, or are your deeds held at the bank? Dun dun dun! Because I guarantee you, most of them are in the bank. Do, 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 do. Come on, people, there's got to be others that would want to have their say. Surely. Surely. Yes, no, maybe. 893 again, ending in 893, the same person calling yet again. Same person. So the calls are not going to get answered, are withheld numbers. That's your number's got to come up. You got nothing to fear, nothing to hide. Same as Mark, but you is a bit your voice. It's a voice thing. He's just texted me saying he's not fake. Gave me a name, but then again, the person who's trolling can do that, innit? It's not. You know what I mean? So that's okay. You said you wanted to talk to me private anyway, Mark. So you didn't want to talk. It was too sensitive or too rude for YouTube. So I'll talk to you privately. I got your number. It's on my phone. So I'll give you a call back, innit? All good? To my neighbours told me that was in an army camp. Normally in safety deposit boxes, it banks, aren't they, or held at your solicitors. Hello, BCTV. How is your upset rat? You've been looking after a very upset rat, haven't you? So how's that going? So we got Ems tonight, the only one with the balls. I think Ems was one of my first calls I ever took on when I started to do phone-ins many years ago. Well, it is many years ago now, isn't it? So, what do you think the King's speech is going to be like? I think it's going to be a weffy speech. Very much weff controlled. Because it looked a bit dodgy the other night. When Keir Starmer met the old and gave him the old handshake, it's a bit, whereby I think it was that way round. See, the King's hand came in, right? And it's how his thumb was positioned on top of Keir Starmer. And that, to me, is a Masonic sort of handshake. Because if you look at where the thumb, they got like what they call lion claw. So whereby you grab the wrist, it's called the lion claw. I can't really do it. I got no thing. It's a lion claw grip. Or that sort of grip denotes what position you are within masonry, whether or not you're brother, grandmaster, past master, all that sort of skullduggery. But like we said, climate change, or the very lack of it. Now that, to me, climate change is getting, is there such a thing? Are we the biggest polluter? Or is it, to me, it's just another tax, isn't it? You say, you scream out climate emergency, and to me, it's just another tax. Another tax. No. Roy says there's no climate emergency. I tend to believe that something's happening. I've seen Piers Corbyn, go on about it he was speaking to Charlie Ward, there's another fucking fake, deep state fake. He was chatting to Charlie Ward. You remember Beijing Olympics? Weather modification sort of came out in the Beijing Olympics. I can't remember what year that was in. Anyway, somebody look it up. When they started to fire silver something or other into the atmosphere to make it rain, to keep all the smog and shit down. Silver. I can't remember what it is. I ain't no fucking weather expert, but silver something or other. They fire off in little flares, and that cloud seeding. It cloud seeds silver. Yeah. So someone said earlier. So that brought it into what I believe the forefront of Joe Public's, oh yeah, they're and then I think a lot of videos that were put out is to muddy the waters within weather modification, cloud seeding and things like that. Now, I personally believe every time they fired that harp, or they fire some sort of fucking pulsar beam into the Earth's core, why you want to fuck around with shit like that? Because they're saying that the Earth's core is slowing or stopping, whereby if that ever happened and we stopped the magnetic flow around the Earth's core, if that ever stopped, then bye-bye, end of days. We've all watched that film, haven't we? The Core. We've all seen that film, haven't we? We've all been prepared with these films, haven't we, to get ready for our inevitable Because it's inevitable. You know, everything comes to an end, doesn't it? Our inevitable extinction. And it's going to happen one day. Whether or not it happens in our lifetime or in 1,000 lifetimes, it's happening because it's being spoke about now. So it's preparation, isn't it? You know, that's the way I look at it. They cloud seed the sky, but they also cloud seed your mind as well, don't they? They seed your mind. They bit like Sunak. I don't want to be a wartime prime minister. Then a few weeks later, he calls a fucking general election, and now we've got a fucking prime minister who is surely going to take us to war without we haven't, you know, absolutely. We all remember the last time we went to war, don't we? What did that turn out to be like? Turned out to be a big fat fucking lie, didn't it? They want a war. Bankers want war, don't they? That's what they want. CIA says, Tyrant Finder, this is the last generation and we are at the end of the age. Fact. Read the Bible. You know, Revelations and it's all coming to fruition, isn't it? Everything that is, you know, the Bible says, you know, it's starting to come to fruition. You know, farting under the quilt keeps you warm, says Michael. You don't have to put the heating on then, do you? Farting under the quilt. If we went to war, you got to remember the ramifications of us going to war with Russia, because you gotta fucking remember, right? America is a long way away from, well, not so much with the Alaskan and shit like that, but you know, look how close we are to fucking Europe and Russian frontier and shit. We're on the doorstep, aren't we? We are going to get absolutely hammered. We have run out of ammunition within weeks. It has been already stated that we have our tanks will be wiped out within a fucking day, right? Because we don't have hardly any. We are like, our fighting force is not equipped or not ready, I would say, for an all-out war, because we're not going up against strategically lacking enemy. We are probably going up against the most formidable enemy in the world, which is clearly the Russians. We've all been brought up with it, isn't it? The Russian bear, right? They are basically our nemesis. They are our equal. We're in for a losing battle, a completely losing battle. We are not going to win against the Russians, and that's coming from somebody who served. They are far, well, we're good at, you know, British army is strategic, isn't it? They're strategists. That's how we win wars. But we're going up against a formidable enemy, and I can see it coming. Absolutely. And I can't see, you know, it's not going to be like the Americans, right? You got to remember, within the Afghanistan war, where the Americans had a massive recruitment drive, and they were, going to their careers advisors left, right, and centre, just the normal Joe public. We didn't have a recruitment drive for Afghanistan. We were just taking regular recruits from basic training and sending them straight to Afghanistan. That's why we lost a lot of people over there, is because a lot of these were young soldiers straight out of fucking training. So we are not, and it's gonna be like that within this war that's coming. But only time would tell. Only time will tell. So let's have a read of the chat. Go make yourself a drink. Wait for another call. Obviously no one wants to speak tonight. Okay, we'll have us join the European Army. Press, yeah, they will. Yeah, it will be a EU army. It will be the EU army. Won't be the British army. Be fighting under the NATO flag, won't you? Because we all remember, isn't it, right? If any one NATO state is attacked, all other NATO states, I think they must get involved or have to get involved. Yeah. It would be both Russia and China, 100%. Do you think? Yeah, I think so. Russia and China, yeah, at the same time, we've all seen the Chinese army, haven't we? Fuck me, they go on these parades and, jeez. Are you not worried? I'm certainly worried. So you've got to remember, right? Russia can get most of their population underground in bunkers. How many bunkers have we got to save us if the old 4-minute warning happens? Not a lot, have we? We haven't. We got none, have we? And all these nuclear videos, you'll start having to get worried when you start getting these announcements put out what to do in an event of a nuclear war, right? That's when your ears need to be pricking up a little bit more. We've already got the emergency warning system. What you got to remember, right? These people that run our countries, right? They're not going to be above ground when all this shit starts happening. They're going to be in their bunkers, in their command centres, right? This is where the war's going to be fought from, where all of us will be up on surface, when they're all below, in their command bunkers, and then beaming their holograms upstairs to make as though that they're with the public. That's not how it's going to work. We put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye, because that is what's going to happen. We've got namby-pamby people that, get upset within the army now that because you've used the wrong fucking pronouns. You've all seen that. I'll have to find it. It was in my group the other day. Russians fighting the British. They've made like a woke sort of like how to beat the British without firing a bullet, and it is you attack like their pronouns and and shit like that, so they get offended and run off crying to their sergeant major. And I think that's what they wanted to do. I think the elites wanted to make us so fucking weak that we can't fight anybody. We can't even fight ourselves or fight the tyranny facing, because we're just so fucked in the head by people wanting us to believe, you know, mad shit that science doesn't marry up with. This is a whole thing. When there's just shit kicks off, right? Don't prepare for it, because, you know, if you, all these people now, and I've said it, when the big fucking mushroom cloud gets up, right? When the mushroom cloud goes up, you're going to have fucking people out with their mobile phones like that, with the mushroom cloud in the fucking background. This is how stupid, this is people's mentality when the fucking shockwaves come and form, because this is what we think. They don't realise that as soon as that bomb goes off, no mobiles are going to work because of the EMP pulse and shit like that. Yet they guarantee you someone to try and take a picture and Snapchat it. Is that not the truth? Because it's the society that we're breeding now, isn't it? And we're breeding it because the shit that comes down from higher government to us. And now we think, you know, look at what we got now. Look what we got running the country now. Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister. Fucking. But I'm just a man that... I see it how I see it. I don't know if anyone else sees it the same way as I do. But, yeah. David Lammy is Foreign Secretary. And we got the first female Chancellor. First female Chancellor of the Exchequer. Oh, that Deputy Prime Minister, isn't it? That Muslim guy. Can't think of his name now. Ooh, Deputy Prime Minister? No, Chancellor is the first female Chancellor. That's the only ones I know so far. You said Foreign Secretary, Chancellor and Deputy Prime Minister. I don't know who Home Secretary is going to be. Rachel Reeves. Is that the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves? Yeah, well, time will tell, won't it? Time will tell. Time will surely tell. $107 of you watching. I can't see the likes at the moment, but make sure you hit that like button. Rachel Reeves is Chancellor. Sadiq Khan, probably next PM. Would he stand for... Is he an MP? He's not an MP already, though, is he? It wasn't like Boris that... Streeton is Health Secretary. I'll have to look who Deputy PM is. Hang on. Oh, where's my keyboard? I was going up there for... Oh, Miss Rayner. No. Who is the UK's Deputy Prime Minister? Oh, Angela Rayner has been given a role. I thought it was the Muslim guy who was given a role. That's what I heard. But no, Angela Rayner has been given her role in Keir Starmer's new cabinet. Yep, old Angela Rayner, Deputy Prime Minister. Oh, fucking hell. The only good thing about her, right, is that she's got red hair. That's, to me, the only good thing. Really. There's only 68 likes and 102 people watching. If you hit that button now, it can get to 100 straight away. Let's hope it. People are saying Rainer is a nightmare. It's all panto. But we know that, don't we? I think most of the people that follow me are really awake to it all. And nothing surprises us. And we know we're all fucked really and nothing's going to change. And it's not about accepting it. It's about just being realistic and getting on with your own lives as best you can. That's how I look at it. Come on, those likes are not going up. I don't like it. But anyway, I had a new subscriber, so thanks to that person. I'll have to have a look who subscribed. It did, because it was on a small screen, I couldn't see it. Oh, Mr. Summit or whatever. It did come up in the chat. Let's go on activity feed. Mr. Steve joined. Oh, 2 people joined. Oh, an hour ago and 6 hours ago. John, Taps and Buzz joined as well today. So welcome to the channel. I know this is the first one, guys, and I only did a very little bit of research into what we were going to talk about tonight. But this is going to be a regular thing every week, and I've got a schedule sorted now, so it will be setting up on, obviously starting on Monday with the researching for the Saturday show. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday researching, Thursday and Friday set up and rehearsal, and then Saturday ready for the show. Larry must be 100 years old now. Larry. Yeah. Paul Fisher said all you can do is say no. I've not paid council tax in 3 years now. I'm rebelling. See, I don't have to worry about that. But don't pay council tax either. 893 calling again. You didn't want to speak on phone earlier. You said it was too much for YouTube. So I'll talk later. Yeah, Patrick Vallance, part of the SAGE COVID committee with Whitty, remember, is now Science Minister. Yes? He is. But hey, people, all these people that, you know, I don't think people, if they abstained from voting or refused to vote, I don't think it would made much of a difference. It is shown within the voting figures, isn't it, of how many people turned out, 9.3 or 9.4 million, and that. So, you know, that's what the votes Labour got in total, 9.3 million. So it don't. You got to remember now, we've got 4 or 5 Reform MPs in the House now. We've got American elections happening in November. We've got Nigel, who's got a very, you know, the ear of Donald Trump. You know, Trump's gonna get elected unless it's gonna be a fix, and Biden's gonna get it again, which I hope, and I can't see happening, to be quite honest. I just would have liked to have seen Farage get a few more votes. Oh, gotta play this, guys. Right, I saved that off. I'll get this video in. This looks funny. I've just had it's put in my group. It's called Get Down Shep. But we'll get it in. See, the problem is there, look. I've got to go into there. Monitor and output. Close. Then we just bring that down there.
Please open the door. Open the door.
What the? Oh, the dog's on her. Dog's on her leg. Whoa.
Get your dog! Get your dog! Get your dog! Get your dog back now! Oh my God!
Shit.
Get your dog! Get your dog! Call the dog off her! Call the dog off her!
Putting her by the fucking chair.
It's got it! Call the dog off her!
Unfortunate thing now, that dog's going to be destroyed. It's only on her trouser leg. It's not got skin.
Oh my God, it's there. You would have hit it in the face or something.
It's in the face or something.
Give me your pack. Give me your pack.
Whoa, she's fucking hitting it now.
Oh my God.
Fucking ain't letting go. You ain't going to get her out. It's a fucking staffy. You ain't getting that off. Put it through his jaw and twist it. Put it through his jaw and twist it. He ain't letting go.
I know. Hit it for her.
Fucking gonna knock him out. Fucking knocking the dog out. Fucking hell.
He would never do that.
Whoa.
John, let me get that thing off. Go keep it. Let me get John. Please, get that dog. John!
The gate is closed and it's still got a fucking leg. Oh, it's took her trousers. It's took her trousers. Yeah, there's your backpack. Is that the shoe? It's got a shoe. She had to unlace her boot to get him off. Oh, it still wants more.
Can you step away, please, a second? Here. Can you step away just a wee bit here? Thank you.
Wow. Absolutely. What did we just watch there? What did we just... What was that? Oh my fuck. Holy shit. Did she say shoo to that dog? Did you hear that woman cracking her in the head though? Cracking that dog in the head and it still wasn't letting go. She needed to put it in his jaw and twist it up. Once those dogs lock, do you not know staffies have got lockjaw? You ain't getting that fucker off. That was bigger than a staffy. That looked like XL. Might have been an XL. But that was a big dog. Anyway, that was sent to me. Now, unfortunately, as we can all imagine, that dog's going to be put down now, isn't it? I think. What do people say in the chat? Do they think it's going to be, the dog's going to be put down? Put one in the chat if that's what you think. If you think the dog's going to be put down, or the police. Hope not. Well, I hope not, but we all know it's normally the inevitable thing that gets done, isn't it? Sadly so, Debbie says. Zet also says. But then again, isn't it right? If you're see, it can't be argued, can it? Can't. Now, if that dog was out in that garden prior to those police officers coming in the gate, she may have had a sort of case to argue that, you know, that the dog, you know, it's their fault that the dog bit him, the dog was loose in the garden, alright? It's because the fact that the dog obviously came through that door of the house, it's up to the onus of the owners to secure that dog prior to answering the door. But then again, you could argue the toss is why should you secure the dog? Anyone that entering onto your property are entering at their own risk, isn't it? So there could be a few arguing factors, is that, yeah, well, she should have secured the dog. But then again, as soon as that dog latched on, the dog should have came off of it as soon as she set off. So the dog wasn't obedient to its owner. So there's a sort of argument there that she had no real control over the dog. Yeah, Mr. Steve Stead, you know, he makes a valid comment. Did this copper shout at the, did the police officer shout at the owner, causing the dog distress? Yeah, maybe. If it is a guard dog, right, it doesn't matter. You know, a guard dog ain't gonna fucking, it just distinguishes strangers to figures that they know, isn't it? So I don't think the dog attacked because of the uniform. The dog attacked because it didn't know the person. And if the copper shouted at the woman or lunged, went for the woman to arrest her in any sort of way, which we didn't see that part of the, you know, because it was off camera. So how do we know what was happening off a camera to make that dog go out and latch onto her? Because he only latched onto her foot. It wasn't exactly latched onto any sort of flesh, was it? But then again, anyone enters your property, isn't it, is entering at their own risk. That should be a sign on there. You know what I mean? This is a society we live in now. Unless we sign everything, you got no real defence. So if you've got a dog, right, have a sign on your gate. Dog on loose, right? So then that would warn anyone entering your property that there could be a dog on loose, so they're entering at their own peril. But if they enter your property and you've got no sign in a dog I got a call coming through. Internationally. Germany. Sounded like Germany. Someone's obviously calling me from after watching the footy. So, yeah, with the defence on that, if there was a dog on the loose and they didn't have a sign, they can argue that they wasn't informed that there was a dog there. They didn't hear one. Same with anything, really. Anything that's going to injure someone on your property, unless they can have you for it. It was, I didn't get to it in time. Dangerous weapon on the loose. But it was quite funny. I had a sign, beware of the wife. Yeah, you got to beware of my wife, actually. Really, you do. She's feisty. Absolutely feisty one. Do, just checking some shit. My dog's old now. He can't bite. He wears dentures. Yeah, my dog couldn't bite because it's got such an underbite. A bottom lip, you know what I mean? Real big Churchill dog. Oh, yes. She has difficulty eating her food. She can't scoop it up. So you end up gotta like fucking like shovel it into her mouth. The dog was raised watching Gods. Must be crazy. He thinks he's a badger. There's an international call. Hang on. Don't hang up. Don't ring off. Someone ringing from Germany, clearly. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Tyrant.
Hello. Who's this?
Hello, this is Frankie from Germany.
Oh, Frankie. Frankie baby. You used to call me long time ago.
Yeah.
How are you, Frank? How's life
I'm
in Germany?
fine, thank you. Thank you very much. How are you?
Well, surviving, mate. Surviving. I wanted to ask a German a question, actually. You've just recently legalized weed, haven't you?
Sorry, I did not understand you. You're not loud enough.
Ah, sorry. There you go. Can you hear me now, Frank?
Yeah, better.
Yeah, better. Do you partake in smoking cannabis at all?
You mean the law that passed in the German Bundestag of weed smoking? Yes.
Yes, they've now just recently changed the law, haven't they? That you are now allowed.
Yeah, they have changed it. But I'm not in this thematic. I don't know how much you can own or what is legal, and I don't know. But yes, they put a law active, so it's allowed to smoke or to carry a amount of weed with you.
Yeah, this is what I just wanted to speak to a German if they were actually, doing it themselves. What is it like at the moment? Because obviously in the UK, we're not.
I mean, to agree with the German politics, you need to smoke a lot of weed right now.
I think that's look what's just happened in England, Frank. We've just had a new Prime Minister, conservative booted out after 14 years.
That is actually the reason why I wanted to call you when you offer a call-in show. That's the actual reason. So what is wrong with that election you have now and taking this Mr. Starmer? Starmer is the name?
Yeah. Sir Keir Starmer.
A Labour Party as a new Prime Minister. So what was going wrong over there?
Well, we as English people, as the UK, a lot of us, we can't fathom out why Sunak, Richie, our Prime Minister, had just been booted, called a general election when he did, because he was on his way out anyway. So he didn't have to call a general election when he did, but he did. And we knew as soon as he called it that we were going to get a Labour government. It's a foregone conclusion. We've known ever since the general election was called that we're going to have a Labour government. It was going to be nobody else. So we can only put it down to is that we'll be at war very soon.
Yeah, but why is the population not going to Nigel Farage and Reform UK Party?
Well, the reason behind it is the general consensus with the populace is how the mainstream media has portrayed Nigel and the Reform Party. They're portraying them as the far right. They're a far right party, right? Because they're saying some of their policies don't marry up to the common narrative.
So basically, it's a framing they put on that party, right?
Yeah, they've tarred it. They're saying that Nigel Farage doesn't want immigration. No, he just wants to sort out the boats that are coming across the English Channel. They find that the general populace within the UK and mainstream, they find that very racist, that we want to stop the boats coming over from France, right? Because all these people that are coming in from France are refugees and they deserve to be here. So because he's got that one of his party policies to sort out immigration, and it's not just the boat people, it's the whole immigration, they've tarred the party as far right. So people who would normally vote Labour, Conservative, jumped on the Labour bandwagon, haven't they? All the Conservative people. Reform only gained 5 seats within Parliament, 4 or 5 seats. So nothing.
So basically, it's the same like they did with, let's say, the far right, blah blah, France, Italy, Austria, Germany. They name it, they declare it, and then they are a danger to the democracy, right?
Yeah, exactly what they're saying the Reform Party are. They're Nigel Farage, and the way the mainstream media and the BBC span it, that Nigel Farage is an agitator. He's not going to bring anything good to democracy.
Same framing, the same saying about what is going on over here with the AfD, AfD, or the Austrian party, the SPÖ, SPÖ. Yeah, you don't have a. And so on. So or the Fidesz in Hungary, Orban party.
Same as in France, isn't it? What's happening in France? Is it with the Le Pen? Is it Le Pen? Is she classed as far right as well?
Yeah. Except of Meloni, because I don't trust Meloni. They say they're far right, but I'm not quite sure if Meloni is really what she's saying. But anyhow, the former prime was WEF, and the new prime is WEF2, right?
Yep.
And the first thing he did was to cancel the deal with Rwanda.
I don't know what they're doing yet. I haven't seen anything of the policies that he's actually going to implement straight away. But there's going to be some big shake-ups. There's going to be some more deals with the World Health Organization. They're well in the pocket of the new prime minister. So yeah, it's a whole weth, mate. It's all weth. Even the king's weth. World Economic Forum, babe. One world government.
Yeah, that's where we're directing to, I suppose.
Well, it's Agenda 2030, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It is.
You know, we've been going on about Agenda 2030 for a long time. It's going to be...
Yes, and it's everything. And I hope your channel will stay alive when we talk about that.
Well, we started talking about Agenda 2030 right at the beginning of lockdown, I think. And, you know, things were coming to fruition, to truth then. That we're heading that way, and ever since, you know, the Queen died and King Charles is took the throne, you know, he's wet through and through. And that when William is the next king, when he takes the throne, it's going to get even doubly worse because he's mooring with it. So who really runs the world? Because it's not local governments or sovereigns, it's the WEF. World Economic Forum.
And maybe some other big companies like the big We in America, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you've got all the big banks, haven't you? The Rockefellers, and you know, you've got...
I mean the Vanguards and BlackRocks and so on and so forth.
Yeah, all those, everything, you know, even when this Russia war kicks off, because we're gearing up to go to war with Russia. I don't know what Germany's doing. It's, you know,
we are in. We are so in. If we cannot change it in the next 3 months, then we are totally in.
Yeah, I think that's when we're going.
That's my fear, actually.
Yeah, we'll go by the end of the year. We'll be over the Russian. We'll be fighting, definitely.
But what are your newspapers and news magazines and news channels reporting about the new bird flu?
I haven't. I seen something, a new variation of bird flu or something. I haven't looked much into it yet. I don't know if the chat is seen it. I've heard about it, but I haven't looked into about it. But what's Germany saying? Is this going to be locked down, or?
We are already having in the traditional old news channels and newspapers. They are already reporting like bird flu outbreak, and so many thousand chickens has to be culled, and Finland already got the first batch of vaccines, and we need to order them too, and so on and so forth. And I guess they are starting the second. How do you say? The second show.
Yeah, the second showdown. They tried it with monkeypox, didn't they? That didn't really work with us because people were.
We had just today there was a big article in a very famous newspaper in Germany about monkeypox. Yes, but I think they're doing it like in Australia. They are already totally on the edge with bird flu, H5N1, and they copy it directly here in Germany. And as well, they say it's going from the chicken to the cow, and you can be infected by the I don't know the name in English now. The hose you put on the cow to milk.
Right, okay. So basically, it can be transferred into the milk, so it can be transferred into humans.
No, the farmer can get it from this.
Oh, can he? Oh.
Yeah, and that's why they want to have the vaccination now for the farmers, because it can go from from the cow to the farmer. The bird flu go to the cow to the farmer. That's what they're telling us now.
Wow. See, that's all to break down the food chain, because a lot of the UK farms in the UK are not farming anymore because the only reason I see, because we came out of Europe, they're not getting heavily subsidised by Europe anymore. But they're turning their farmland into like solar farms and wind farms and shit like that.
Yeah, the same like they did in Netherlands.
Yeah, they're taking all agriculture farmland away, and they wonder why we can't grow our own food. It's mental.
They're taking. I know a German guy. His name is Bernie from Australia. He's always posting some things. I already told you several years ago. So, and he was in the grocery store yesterday or 2 days before, because they already culled more than 60,000 chickens.
Yeah.
There are no eggs in the supermarket anymore. So this is the first row. Then they're starting. They're going for it. They're going to the food chain already.
Well, they want us to get us to eat bugs, don't they? They want us to get those bugs in our mouths so we can, become vegan and vegetarian.
So, my suggestion is prepare, because this is going to be a very interesting autumn and winter this year, and
what is the weather? What's the weather like for the time of year, Frank? Is it colder than normal? Because we are now in July in the UK. Obviously, we're in July.
Yeah, last night I had 13 degrees Celsius. Now I have 16 degrees Celsius, and it's very cloudy and it's rainy.
Yeah, it's just practically the same weather as here. Then it's been grey and overcast and raining all day. Really blustery, high winds today as well. So
yeah, high winds we had as well. Yeah, we have some storms as well, and hail and rain, heavy rain in the southern part of Germany today, but not compared to the hurricane which hit Jamaica or Mexico, but a lot of rain and a lot of hail and basically too cold for the time of the year, of course. But the news told us June was the hottest June since recording of weather, blah.
Yeah, they've tried to tell us that, but we didn't really believe it, because we all know I was born in the hottest June on record, which was 1976. So they tried to say, oh no, we had the driest or warmest March on record, and I'm thinking, no, we didn't. It's all lies. It's so cold out. I've got me heating on in July, where your heating shouldn't be on.
So your weather forecast map in TV must be the same like ours. Before it was 60 degrees, it was green, and now it's 25 degrees, and they put it in blood red.
Yeah, blood red. Yeah. We was in the same as last year. Everything was blood red. When we was hitting 30 degrees, it was blood red, like we're all going to melt and die.
Yeah, exactly.
It was hot last year, I must admit. It was like we had it was only for a few days, though. It wasn't, it wasn't a long...
you see, it's all over the world. It's the same BS.
Yeah, totally.
It's all over the world, the same agenda. It's all over the world, the same...
Agenda 2030, Frank. Lockstep, wasn't it? And that was the whole thing of lockdown. It was to align every country in the world to the same narrative. And that locked us all, and then Agenda 2030 could go fully ramped. And look what happened since, especially in the UK, we've had these significant event happen, since the lockdown.
But the sad thing is that still most of the people, most of the population still believe that BS, and just a few people who are awake, and that's what I'm not viewing through, that they still don't get it. And even though if I open right now a vaccination center in front of my door, I believe I have a lot of people wanted to have the vax for the bird flu. I'm quite sure. And they still don't get it. They still don't understand it.
No, there will be. There will be plenty of people queuing up to take it, but I do believe, that this is all these different narratives that happened since, lockdown, it combined us all is a one world, actually, government. Significant events happened. You had the lockdown, then you had the Ukraine war kicking off. All these things, the Queen dying, we getting a new king, all these significant events, we don't control nothing. It's all theatre. What happens within your own country is theatre. The bigger picture is the big men in upstairs like Weth that control everything, even the narrative. They know us as human beings better than we know ourselves, because they've studied us for a long time. They know how we're going to think. And I believe this is what they do. And there's only a few people like us that are, I'd say, truly awake to it all, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy world to live in.
I don't think more are going to wake up, because the next thing to keep us all occupied is the world war that's just about to happen. Against both of our
unfortunately
nemesis, isn't it? Russia.
Unfortunately, it might be like this. I hope it still does not coming. I mean, I see Viktor Orban traveling to Ukraine, talking to Zelensky. I saw him traveling to Moscow. And what did the European Parliament say? He has not the right to go there. He is not able to negotiate with. So there are warmongers, and he's trying to make peace. He's trying to make diplomatic contacts, and they say he's the evil person. I don't get it. I don't get it anymore.
What they say? They are not predicting a future, as they're planning it. So yeah, someone just put in the chat in here. They're not predicting a food shortage. They're planning it. So they're creating a food shortage for us, and with everything, I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know. What is the master plan, Frank? What is the end goal for them? I don't see it.
I don't get. Say it again, please.
What is their master plan? What is their end goal? What are they trying to achieve by, Agenda 20?
This is hard to say. I even don't know it. I don't know it. For in the basic, I don't. Is it a pandemic, or is it vaccine, or is it war? I think the main
but all those things. Those three things you've just mentioned make some money, don't they? At the end of the day, vaccines, war, it makes people rich if they create those things.
Yes, it makes some people rich, but on the other hand, it says reduce the world population.
Yeah. Well, you look at, if we went to war tomorrow with Russia, how many people, because not only soldiers to get killed, you got to look at the civilian casualties as well. We got a lot more technological smart bombs now that we can, do a lot more damage. So I can see the civilian toll. Yeah, so, the depopulation within lockdown didn't have that great of effect. So what's the next best thing? Let's have a war, innit?
Yeah, I mean, some people already said in the United States they're running for a civil war. It's not impossible right now. I mean, I see the protests in France, in Paris, Palestinian protests and everything. We have it here as well in Germany, pro-Palestine, and yeah, they're forcing it, basically. They're forcing it. But the Germans are so nice and asleep and kind, and they say, okay, protest whatever you want, but leave me alone, and I don't care. But they don't see what is going on the other hand. You know,
it's the same with
there are
the UK.
rapes and knife attacks and whatever nearly every day, 24 all over Germany.
Wasn't that didn't that we watched a video on that, the German police officer getting stabbed in the head by, was that in Germany?
Yeah, that was in Mannheim, yeah.
In Mannheim, wasn't it? But unfortunately the police officer grabbed the wrong person, and that aided the guy to get up, and then he died a few days later, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. That was unbelievable footage. Unbelievable.
Yes.
So that is knife crime
almost
and
1 month ago right now.
Yeah. Has knife crimes gone up in Germany?
Excuse me?
Has knife attacks gone up in Germany like they have in the UK?
We have it nearly every day. There are somewhere are always knife attacks, or there was another town where a police officer has been threatened by a knife, but they should now. They should now a little bit earlier than before.
It's not just the migrant population that is using the knives. I found as well. You know, that is happening. But within, obviously, where I live, three children were killed in a space of a week through being stabbed by other kids. It was, you know what I mean? It's like the knifing of people, instead of going out and, you know, hitting them with your fists, they seem to be wanting to go out and stab people with knives now, and, you know. It's mad.
Okay, that's a new phenomenon that I don't know, but over here it's mostly the same people from the same countries who are doing this as well. There was one man from a different country who killed his own daughter because she was living too Western-like. And so they killed her.
Like an honor killing type thing they do in their culture, isn't it? They have honor killing.
Exactly. And there is trouble. There is stuff. Because I'm on the phone. Calling you. Last question. Do you follow the European Championship?
Well, the football. Yeah, I watched the football today. You know, England's victory over Switzerland. Yeah, we were lucky today to win. We were lucky. How about you? I haven't really been following. I've only been following like.
I mean, Germany is out anyhow, but unlucky. Actually, too, but now you're meeting Netherlands, right?
I believe so. Yes, because I think we're meeting the Netherlands
because they beat out Turkey.
Oh, they beat Turkey in the end, because the last time I looked, Turkey was 1-0 up. Netherlands on Wednesday. Someone just said in the chat. So we play Netherlands in semis on Wednesday, and hopefully we'll. Is that the team you're rooting for now, Netherlands?
I was after Germany. I was for Switzerland. Now I'm for Netherlands.
Yeah. That would be my order actually. If I was German, it would have been that way. and then Netherlands because that's the next country across over from you.
Yeah. I mean, I watched all the games. I watched Portugal too, and so what are your thoughts? So the prediction: England, Netherlands. Come on.
It's going to be a hard game. It always has been a hard game when we played the Netherlands. The guys in orange, as I call them.
Yeah.
It's always been a hard game. They've always got a good side. So, I would like to say that we've got the team to win this. We have got the team, not by the way they played in this game against Switzerland. They played absolutely dismal and they were very lucky to win at all. They could have conceded a fair few goals, and it's not for the likes that we got one of the best goalkeepers in the world now. He's absolutely class. So yeah, we could have lost. So my prediction that it's gonna go all the way. It's gonna go to penalties. We're gonna lose it on penalties.
Yeah, exactly what I think. Exactly what I think. It's going to be penalty shooting, and then Netherlands is going to.
Yeah, Netherlands go through to the final. But saying that though, you know, we've got the youngest player in the team stepped up to take the first penalty for England tonight, and he nailed it in the back of the net. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, I don't know. When we went to penalties, I was worried, but it was the first time I've seen England nail all 5 goals, all 5 penalties in the back of the net. All right, because some of those shots were very slow on the goal as well. They were p-rolling in on the goal. So yeah, it was nice, but my Bellingham the same was lucky not to see a red or see red.
Yeah, that's true. Anyhow, so it's just a prediction, but we see it the same way. Nice. So I don't want to crush my phone bill.
No, don't crush your phone bill because this is an international call, Frank.
Yeah, that's why, and I'm on mobile. So
yeah.
I sent some greeting to your watchers on to the chat and everything, and thank you for having me, Tyrant Finder UK. Appreciate, and I wish you a pleasant evening.
Frank,
and let's
get
see
the
what's
old
going on next Wednesday.
We get the old StreamYard set back up so we can get you on that way again.
Oh, like this, exactly. All right.
All right, so we do it the old-fashioned way, like we did before. When I get you next on.
Yeah, you have my contact on Telegram and.
Yeah, I got you, mate. I got you. But thanks for the call, Frank.
Thank you, and have a nice evening. Bye bye.
And you, mate. Ta-da now.
Bye. And you.
That was Frank from Germany. Frank used to be on the StreamYard panel way back when in lockdown. But what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to take a little 5-minute pee break, and then I'll be back. And we're back. Right. Got a call coming in. Let's go wait a minute, get yourself sorted out. You might have to ring back. Gonna have to ring back, I'm not quite ready. I hope I turned my mic off. Oh yeah, I did turn my mic off when I went and had a pee. Right. Just doing me coffee, guys.
Sorry,
you never have enough.
Who was doing it?
Never have enough time in the break
Well, I
or
was
have
doing
enough
it, but
music to infill.
I was doing it, but because you're so impatient, I'm just saying. I was doing it, but you're so impatient, you've got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
I do have kids to watch at the same time.
I know.
How much was your chair, Daddy?
Hang on, my microphone's live so the world can hear you, darling. How much was what?
Your gaming chair.
My
Well,
gaming
this chair's
chair.
broke, he wants a new one.
No, because Blake's was 350. I wanted
No,
how
you're
much.
not-
Yeah, you ain't having one that dear.
I know.
Yeah, I've seen those £350 gaming chairs. Yeah, you're not having. That's a fake leather one, which was probably about £49.
You've had yours since Christmas and you've already broken it.
Yeah, I've had mine 3 years.
Can I have it? Can
No.
I have one of them?
It's too big for your room anyway. That's why I got you smaller gaming chairs.
How is it too big?
No, it's not, it will fit.
It will fit, but it's a little bit big.
I'm too big for my chair.
Yeah. And you want to put them, hang that underneath your bunk bed so you don't lose it. And hang them, like Velcro them up on your bunk bed. Underneath like that,
I'll put
so you
it
don't
on
lose
and
it.
show you what it looks like.
Yeah, I know. You look like a ninja warrior.
He's just
Yeah.
excited, he's been somewhere different today.
I didn't know they had a ninja warrior.
Yeah.
Did you actually go like proper? Is it like Ninja Warrior TV? Like,
Pete said he was up on the top and Blake wouldn't go up, so Pete went up with him and had a go.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Sorry, guys. I know I left my mic open so you could hear my whole conversation with my family then. So, here we are. Let me go back on camera. Just chatting to my boy, as you could possibly hear. Ah, call's coming in. Let's have a... Hello.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, who's this?
It's Mike West. How you doing?
Oh, Mike. I recognise that voice from...
Fuck it. Do you know what? Right. So you appeared on my timeline. Oh God, what was it? It was earlier in the week, and it was you were playing all videos from the Bristol riots of 2020, 2021,
Yeah.
whenever it was, and I was like, shit. Because I've been subscribed to your channel.
Bastion Radio.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right, yes. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I remember this. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Chris has come out from nowhere on my timeline. I'm subscribed to your channel, but I just don't get notifications. I must have not had notifications from you for a couple of years. So I've unsubscribed, resubscribed, and then your notification come up earlier in my timeline. But it was great. It was great to see them, because I can't remember when I turned up. Was it the second night or the third night?
A lot of them turned up on the third night, because the first night was like the main riot-y when all the windows got done. Then it was the second night was basically when they were on College Green.
That's right, yeah.
And then the third night, I think that's when like, loads of live streamers turned up because they thought I was going to go off again tonight. It went off a little bit, and that's when everyone got pushed up into a place called St. Paul's.
Well, I remember when we had to run off, and I dropped my gear, you dropped it. We ended up in a bus stop, didn't we? Trying to gather up our equipment again. It was fucking mental, absolutely mental. But yeah, that because it reminded me. I think I went
was it the weekend Dover was on? There was a big march down Dover, and I was down there filming that. And then Bristol must have kicked off that same weekend. Was it the same weekend? Yeah. I remember just randomly, I just thought, I've got to go across to Bristol because I was living in Wharton Bassett at that time, so it wasn't too far away. And I couldn't remember if it was the second or third night, so it must have been the third night, because it was back in the city again, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that was it was a bad time. So what have you been doing yourself? How's this? What do you think of the new government?
Fucking hell. Well, do you know what? Look, okay, let's try and put a positive spin on it. I'm glad that the Tories are out.
Yeah.
Because of their performance, certainly over the last 10 years or so. But it's just like, don't wish too much. You might just get what you want. I can't see a positive with Labour being in at this moment, certainly with Starmer. It's not so much the Labour Party, it's Starmer. Starmer concerns me a lot, a hell of a lot. Looking at his backgrounds, what he supported in his background, certainly when he was a lawyer. And, that shits the life out of me. I'm just like, really... it's good to see the Tories lose. They deserve to lose. They deserve everything they've got. But I think the positive spin out of this, Chris, is that, reform, I know reform ain't the answer, but it's just a refreshing change that the opposition's changing now, I think.
I believe, the opposition is well changed, and I don't think the opposition of the House is going to be the same. You know how it is now. I don't think Conservative is going to be run the same, it's the same.
Well, I think they're finished, Chris. I think they're finished.
Well,
I think the Conservatives are finished. It's going to take years, if they manage to get their shit back together again and go back to old Conservative ways. But you could say the same about Labour, because really the new Labour that we're seeing now, the new Labour, we had new Labour under Tony Blair. This is new Labour. You can put a fact paper between the Conservatives and Labour, really, how they performed over the last few years. I just think this is going to be a more extreme version of it with Keir Starmer.
But Labour didn't get, Labour got less votes than his predecessor.
Yeah.
So how they all can be slapping Starmer on the back, it was a landslide victory.
I don't know.
It wasn't.
I think it's going to be short-lived. My prediction is maybe a year or two's time from now, we're going to be looking at Sadiq Khan being the Labour Prime Minister. Yeah. I think Keir Starmer he was just the linchpin to get them in. I don't think he's going to perform. I don't think it's in him, to be honest. I think the ultimate goal is to get Sadiq Khan into power. Sadiq Khan's openly said that's where he's favouring now, is to go for mainstream Labour and the Premiership, and I think that's where he's going to. That's on the cards. It's going to be the next organic move for Labour
Could well be. But then at the end of the day, you had all these people moaning about Sadiq Khan, but you just got another tenureship. Is London Mayor, so people can't hate him that much. For him to get
Michael May's quite right. He says he's not an MP yet, but I think that'll be on the cards.
But the only way to become an MP now is if a by-election is called.
Yeah, somewhere.
So somebody's either got to step down for him, or someone's got to die. So that's the only way. It would have been foolish. He should have actually stepped up and ran as an MP now. If he wanted to go for, or was he going to be too much of a contender for? I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems all weird. Yeah. Why did Sunak call his general election when he did? He knew he was going to lose. Why? So why did he call it? He didn't have to.
Well, it was tactically done, didn't it? It was done in a window that was very, very short, of a short amount of time for anyone on the fringes, like Reform or whoever, to get their shit together, to get their their campaigns on the road. He knew what he was doing there. But the only thing that concerns me is he must have known that Labour's going to wipe the floor with them. And I don't know, maybe there's something they're seeing that's not quite clear to us at the moment, that they think, well, when this kicks off, whatever it's going to be, maybe with what's happening with Russia, Ukraine, they don't want to be in power when it does kick off, because I think their options were very limited to how we're going to react as a country.
I think Starmer, if war was, you know what I mean, if war kicked off under Sunak, he had nobody's backing, right? If war's going to kick off under Starmer, I think he's going to have a lot more people's backing on, isn't he? You know, they're going to want to go to war under Starmer.
Yeah. We've got, what was it, Zelensky soon stepped out immediately, basically saying, oh, we've got this, a 10-year agreement or something, some agreement that he's made with Starmer, and it's like, well, hold on a minute, we've not been filled in with the details yet. What's this 10-year agreement? We've yet to be filled in with that, and I'll be interested to find out what that is.
Yeah, totally. So we'll be at war by the end of the year. I think if we're going to go that way, it'll be by the end of this year. I think.
Well, you can see it, Chris. I mean, we got Viktor Orban, the Hungarian PM that's now acting EU leader at this moment. He's gone over to Moscow to have a meeting with Putin to try and talk peace, right? Now, we don't get many guys in this country or anywhere else in Europe or America trying to come up with a peaceful resolution, but he's being slagged off because the EU's now saying, oh, you're going against our policies, you're going against this, you're going against this guy. And it's like, well, hold on a minute. This guy just wants a resolution where the innocent, normal Ukrainians don't get put into the mincemeter anymore, and he wants a peaceful solution. But that seems to be now you're evil if you want to talk a peaceful solution. All they're interested in is like what you just said. They want a war. Yeah. And that's quite clear.
Oh, yeah. I do believe we're heading. No Xmas. Someone's saying in the chat, no Xmas this year. Yeah, quite. Yeah, but you look at it, right? And I've seen it. I don't know if you watched the Tucker Carlson interview of Vladimir Putin at all, or if you followed any sort of Tucker's coverage when he was over in Russia. He was going around supermarkets and shops, whereby we're facing vegetables on, not very good quality veg on our shelves and everything else like that. But you go over to a Russian supermarket who's heavily sanctioned, yet everything's on their shelves plentiful. Is that not telling you something?
Well, yes, I mean, no, you're quite right. And, the other thing to look at is it seems to me the more sanctions that we pour on Russia, the only people that seem to be defeated and the only ones affected are us. You look at the energy sector at the moment, whether that be gas, electric, whatever. It's affected us more. The sanctions have affected us more here in Europe and the UK than it has in Russia. And I don't know whether that's down purely because of this BRICS thing that they've been setting up, this alternate to the US dollar. And I think that's what this is all about. This is what NATO and America is all about when it comes to supporting Ukraine. Because let's face it, Chris, right, it wasn't that many years ago that our press, European press and international press, labelled Ukraine as the most corrupt country in Europe. They had multiple documentaries done on them.
I've got a BBC Newsnight documentary.
Yeah.
Right? On my channel, it actually states the Ukraine and neo-Nazi and how far right, how bad it is over there.
With the Azov units,
Azov units,
I've seen that one on the BBC. France 24 done one on the international child sex trafficking ring that they had. Deutsche Welle done one on their summer camps, the Azov summer camps as well. And it's not as if we were short on it, but if you notice, since 2022, when Putin invaded, them documentaries have been pulled. I was lucky enough to have downloaded them documentaries back in 2018. Yeah. But But it just goes to show you that all of a sudden Ukraine, it just shows you how gullible people are, because most people probably don't even know where Ukraine was when Putin invaded.
Well, where does corrupt governments need to launder their money? Corrupt countries, doesn't it? And this is, to me, Ukraine is just a big melting pot to make things disappearing,
Exactly.
to wash the money. And
And Chris, just look at the amount of money that's been poured into that country in the last 3 years. Ridiculous amounts. 65 billion from the US quite recently, and then Biden's made it that 8 billion a month goes out of the US into Ukraine. And the big question is why?
Yep.
Why all this money? When people are living on the streets in the US, the country's falling around their ears. The same here in the UK. We've sent enough billions of pounds out to the Ukraine at the moment. Meanwhile, our country's sinking, and it's like, well, hold up a minute. Why are we sending such a corrupt country all this money? And it's not to stop Putin, because Putin's made it very clear from the beginning. He's not interested in invading Europe. He's not interested in invading the UK. This has been a vendetta that's been going on for the last 14, 15 years.
Well, I think with the Russian, it's like when you poke the bear, and a great person said about NATO setting, one step further east, and they promised they would never do it. And look how far they surrounding his country with NATO forces, and they want to move them ever closer into Ukraine. So that's on his doorstep.
Yeah, crazy, mate. It's crazy totally crazy situation. And it don't take to read between the lines. I mean, increasingly NATO, rather than be a defensive outfit, has become more and more of an aggressive outfit. We look at that with Bosnia, Libya. It's not. It's not there to create peace. It's there to cause confrontation. And I think now, and I honestly think they've bitten off a little bit more than they can chew. I mean, no matter how our mainstream media and European media tries to say that Ukraine's doing well, it's this. Look, listen, they've hardly got any men left to fight this war. Russia hasn't gone in. I mean, even Putin's turned around and said he regrets now when they stopped at the borders of Kiev because of all the backlash they were getting. He wish he'd just gone ahead and done it now. He wish he'd just gone into to Kiev and taken that. But it's crazy. I don't know. But the route we're on at the moment, which concerns me, is that we're on a fast track to a war, and it's not going to be good, especially for us, because we're not prepared for it. We're not prepared.
Well, we'd be wiped out. We ain't got enough weaponry. We ain't got enough bullets. We ain't got enough armament. We ain't got enough soldiers. So we're going to be heavily reliant on other NATO countries, because it's not going to be a British Army war. It's going to be a NATO war.
Well, you see, like the drills that they've been doing in Russia at the moment, the nuclear drills. It's like, well, they've got all these shelters still open for civilians.
Yep.
They've been practicing with them to send them down to these shelters. Stuff like, what have we got here? We've got nothing. The only people that's going to be protected here are going to be the politicians and senior civil service that will go to the likes of Baldock and places like that, where the shelters are waiting for them. Us, the plebs, we got nothing. And that's how much this country thinks of its citizens. We have fuck all. Apart from the fact that we treat our military and our veterans like shit, and we always have done. We do nothing for our citizens. We're too keen to do everything for everyone else, like Ukraine, Palestine, Israel. We do everything for everyone else, but we don't look after our own. And that needs to change. That really needs to change.
But then we're looked upon as one of the racist countries in the world. Yeah, we do a lot of things for other people.
Yeah, but that's only our own system saying it, Chris.
But this is true.
Our establishment saying it. Yeah, no one else is saying it around the world. In actual fact, we're looked down on across the world because they know. I was talking when I lived in Cyprus. I was talking to one guy out there. He said the difference between Cyprus, Greece, and places like that is that if you upset the system, they let you know about it. He said, but the trouble is with the UK, he says they bullshit you and they lie to you and they do it all behind your back, very underhandedly, and it's done with a smile on their face, which is which is correct, because that's what we do here. It's very underhanded here. Cloak and dagger.
Oh, it is. It's
it.
the British way, isn't it? As they call it, the British way. We were very underhanded. Very.
Yes, old boy. It's it's the done thing. It's the way we do it. It's the way we.
We're not in the club, though, are we?
Say.
We're not in the club.
No, definitely. Definitely not. No.
We're definitely not in the old boys club.
No, definitely not. You'd know it if you was, but and that's the only thing that concerns me about with what's going on now. I'm quite worried how this is all going to turn out for this country. I mean, meanwhile we're being flooded with illegal immigration. I can't see that getting better under Labour. If anything, the first thing Keir Starmer done when he got into office was to cancel the so-called Rwanda plan. Okay, as much of a fuck-up as it was, if that was his priority, what does that tell you? Because that message has now got back to those waiting on the beaches on France.
Oh, yeah. Here they come. More's gonna flood in. We know that. And it's not even, they're not even waiting for the weather to change anymore.
No, they won't.
In the boat.
It's like a green light. We got, is it Yvette Cooper? Who's the Home Secretary now? Is it Yvette Cooper?
We were chatting about this earlier in the chat, and they did put it in who the new Home Secretary was. I think it is a woman.
Yeah. I'm sure it's Yvette Cooper. I may be wrong on that, but, no doubt there'll be one of these people that has been campaigning for more migrants into this country, or illegal migrants, or whatever they want to label them as. But but the thing is, this is the common sense of it. This is what I don't understand, is that when we're a small island, we go on about the National Health Service and how that's fading. We go on about housing, education, and everything else, and it's like, well, hold up a minute. There's one common denominator that's affecting all of it.
Yes.
But they just don't get it. They just...
Oh, it's not. It's an ageing populace, mate. It's an ageing populace. That's what's affecting our NHS system, is bed blockers and ageing populace.
Well, Chris, I want to go out on a positive note. I really do, because I do try to look for the positives in all this. And, look, listen, you may agree with reform, you may not. I went out and voted, but I thought I do not consent across my voters form, because I don't consent to any of it. This first past the post election system we've got has been proven. Yeah. It don't work. No, it really don't work. No. Something drastically needs to change. Reform, I'm just glad that they got some seats, they got some representation, because one, we've never had a real opposition in this country against both the parties that have had a free reign for fucking decades. Yeah. And do you know what? Nothing ever changes. If anything, everything gets worse. Every time we swap between Labour and Conservative, things get worse, progressively worse. They've had it good too long, for far too long, Chris, and that's got to change. And I think, I'm hoping, more than thinking, that, the likes of Reform can do that. Maybe they might be, with their 4 seats, and I know he's a pain in the arse, that Nigel Farage. I wouldn't trust him as far as I'll throw him.
No, none of them can be trusted, mate. This is the thing. When you look at it, none of them can be trusted, but these are the people that we got representing us, and it's better than nothing, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Lisa, yes, 5 seats, wasn't it? Yeah, because they got one at the last minute. I forget where that was now. Yeah, they got one right at the last minute.
He got them on a recount. It was a recount.
Yes. Yeah, brilliant stuff. But, that's all we can hope for. And, because that's why people give up when they say, well, it's not worth going as an independent, because, with this first past the post system we've got, you'll never, it's been designed that way, that an outsider party will never have a chance to win many seats or any influence in Parliament. But
exactly.
Anyway.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
I'm glad I got the notification. I'm glad to see you again. I hope you're well. I know you've, health-wise, you were suffering over the last few years, and I hope things are looking up for you and you're good.
Yeah, well, I'm all right now. I got no cancer now, so that's a plus thing. But, other health conditions
No, I'm pleased for you, mate. No, I'm pleased for you.
I'm
Really
still
am.
breathing.
I think when was the last time I saw a video of yours? Must have been about 2 years ago. And you were up in London, and you were quite rightly looking at what was going on. I thought, what was it? I don't think it was lockdown marches, but you were saying, well, what? It's the same thing. It's the same chanting. They're doing the same thing. And I was like, I fucking agree with you. I was like, Jesus Christ, yeah, you're right. Because you've been to enough of them. Let's face it. I mean, you were nearly every fucking weekend.
Yeah, the only time we're in lockdown, leave it on this note. The only time I thought any sort of change was going to happen was at the very first London protest back in like September 20.
Right.
When I thought it was actually, we were actually going to rebel against the system when actual men stood up and fought.
But it never happened.
But it never happened. We all started then shouting at buildings and chucking tennis balls and red paint. Getting ourselves arrested for stupid things rather than trying to affect any change. But that was all part of the plan anyway.
Well, I saw it down in Dover about a couple of days before I met you in Bristol, and when I was down there, I could see it. The police were geeing themselves up, and what seemed to have happened, it was as if, we've contacted the media now, so we had BBC Radio Kent turned up, and then the local television news turned up, and as soon as they turned up, within 5 minutes of them turning up, setting their cameras up, the police went in hard to cause it as if, to make it look like, these are troublemakers, blah, blah, blah. It was all scripted. I've seen it time and time again in London. They've done the same thing there. And it seems to me, and I used to, the only sort of answer I could come up with, Chris, is just that we saw it with the Iraq war protest under Tony Blair. 1 million people come out to march against that, and they ignored every single one of them people. And, I think 1 million people is a good representation of the country.
Yeah, I think that at the height of lockdown, there was a good few 100,000 on the street, which could be taken as a fair representation of the, of the general consensus, and that was ignored. They tarred everyone with the far right brush as quickly as they possibly could, so the other population that were at home and bleed it thought, look at those racist people. It was the whole part of the narrative. If you want to stop any sort of truth dead in its tracks, you just got to pull out the racist card. And to me, being called a racist is so 1996.
Well, I'll just say yes.
It means
now,
nothing
Chris.
now to me.
I just say yes. If they go, you're racist or you're Islamophobic, I'll go, yeah. Okay,
yeah, okay.
Because it's meaningless. It's
meaningless. Being called that word now it doesn't mean, it's been so watered down by everybody because it is chucked around at the slightest thing. It actually has lost its meaning.
Yeah, I laugh. I actually laugh now when people keep using that word because it's just like sheep. The first thing that comes out of their toolbox is race. Oh, you're racist. You're racist. This. You're racist. That. You're bigots. And it's just like, for fuck's sake, I'm tired of them words now because it's become totally meaningless. It's dangerous what they've done because they've
It's sort of weaponised the word. It's weaponised the word racist.
Yes.
Where it gives everybody else the right. Once you've used that word on someone, it gives everybody else the right to attack you. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You just got to look at it for what it really is.
That's what's going to finish here is the wokeness side of everything as well. I mean, okay, we go on about that, the race issue, we got the LGBT stuff that's going on at the moment, and it's just like, look, Chris, I don't give a fuck what people do in their bedrooms, just don't shove it down our kids' throats at fucking school.
That's all I ask.
Or anything like that. That's all I ask. Just let them get on with it.
I'm not against any of it, right? But don't, my kids know what's what, and, but they don't need to learn about it in school. They don't need to learn anything about critical race theory because there's no such thing as critical race theory. There's none of this. White men are inherently bad because they're racist, and they're bad because being born white is, it's what children are being, and they're not being proud to be what colour they are or where they're from. Their heritage, because your heritage is try to be
Well, I'd rather be humble than proud, because being proud, we've seen that type of behaviour there, and you can be proud of your kids, you can be proud of what your children have done or your grandchildren and stuff like that. But when it comes to yourself, did you really need to label yourself that? Well, why? Just get on with life. Just look, if you're that, fine. Not a lot of other people are interested. I'm interested in things, that a lot of people are not interested in, like hobbies and stuff like that. But I don't force it on anyone else. I just get on with it. I couldn't give a fuck whether anyone likes it or not. But I do that, but I don't say, oh, whatever, you should all have this hobby, you should all do that. I'm not preaching to people. Just get on with it. And in actual fact, there's a lot of people in that community that actually are embarrassed by the hype of the narrative that's being put out by LGBT. They're like, fuck me, no, I don't want nothing to do with that.
I think the most of the gay community who doesn't class themselves as LGBTQ plus IA, whatever it is now, they a normal gay, straight, bisexual person, whatever, they don't agree with any of the LGBTQ stuff. They're against it. They agree. They don't agree for taking children to pride. I think they find it embarrassing, Chris. I think they find it embarrassing, because that's the word that I hear a lot. I'm embarrassed by when I see it come on the TV. If I see it on social media, it's embarrassing. It's like they've sort of thrusting us into the limelight, and they're being very, how can I say, animated about it. And, I know we're on YouTube, so I can't go into that too much, but we've seen it all. Do we need to see it? Do kids need to see it at school? No, they don't. I think my boy came home to me one day and he said, I get embarrassed because we all know as parents and that we got to have that discussion with our children, but they probably know more than us now through social media and things like that. I got me boy coming up. I know how babies are made. I'm like, and you try and shy away from that conversation.
Kids, mate, especially nowadays, they're growing up too fast. That's the bloody trouble. It can be embarrassing for the parents sometimes, but more though than the kids.
So. Yeah. More so. I'm like, what? Oh no, I can't have that conversation.
When did you learn that?
When did you learn? Yeah.
I know. It's crazy, mate. But I'm hoping, all this stuff tends to burn itself out after a while. The novelty wears off. People get sick and tired of it. But I'm hoping so. But I don't think that's going to happen under this government for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what gives me that impression.
I think it's going to get worse. We're going to be a lot more woke. A lot more.
Well, I think it's got to get worse. I think it's got to get worse, Chris, before it gets better. Because I think a lot of the people that voted Labour that were sort of ex-Conservative or whatever done it as a bit of a protest. But I think their eyes are going to be opened up now. Certainly under Starmer, because I think Starmer, in a way, is worse than Tony Blair because of Starmer's beliefs and his, how can I say, not so much upbringing, but his education. And what he defended as a lawyer, the type of people he defended as a lawyer. He isn't Sir Keir Starmer for not defending at the time Prince Charles's best mate. Let's face it.
What? Jimmy? Oh, Jim?
Yeah, Jimmy.
No.
Jingle, jangle, jingle, jangle, yeah.
Do you know what, though? I can't get over it. Talking about the whole Savile thing.
No.
He's still on YouTube. You can find episodes of Jim Will Fix It. Fucking still out there. And he shouldn't be, they should have done that, what they did to his gravestone. Fucking chuck it away.
People of our age, right, we were brought up as teenagers, kids, Jim Will Fix It and all the shit, Top of the Pops and all that stuff. And, all right, we knew he was a dodgepot. He was, just the way he speaks, we knew he weren't quite normal. But no one thought at that time, and from what we were seeing and what we knew of him,
but did we know him as
nonce.
But when we were kids, we didn't know what a paedophile or a nonce was because our mums and dads didn't talk about it, right? But children nowadays do. They know about it. Now, when we were brought up as children, We all used to go out and play, but your parents used to tell you to keep away from certain houses, didn't they?
That's right, yeah.
But that was their way. That was their way to tell you there's a wrong one over there. They didn't actually come out and say, look, he's a kidney fiddler, right? Stay away from his house. But that's how they warned him. But nowadays, it's like they're everywhere, absolutely. Fucking, and it's becoming. People think it's normality, but then again, I didn't grow up with the internet. I didn't grow up with the internet. I didn't grow up with a mobile phone attached to me. So, you know, predators didn't have, you know, that's why back then predators were more like family connections, and you know what I mean. Family
connections. It'd be one of the local guys that would go up to the park where the kids used to play and stuff like that. It'd be in the community more than it would be online.
But now it's, you know, children online, and it's been happening within video games. Now you got like streaming influencers. Like there was a big news article, there's a big streamer called Dr. Disrespect, massive in the gaming community. He had his own Call of Duty avatar and character within games, so this is how big he was. It's now been found out that he was texting a 13-year-old minor. And you mind laws in the States where he is, laws in America where he is, are a lot more stricter on that sort of behaviour than it is in the UK. So these people have got free access to your children through the gaming community. So there's no
Chris, you saying that when my son was 14 years old, right, and I didn't find this out till 2 years later when he was just over 16, right? Luckily enough, he's got his brain screw. He's with it's Steam, which is the gaming platform thing here, and he had things like Roblox and stuff like that. And I used to, you know, be careful what he used to download on it. I used to manage his account. But one thing I never got to see was some of the messaging that was on there. And there was one guy on it kept giving him gifts, you know, Steam gifts, like, you know, pick a game and, you know, I'll sort it out and stuff like that. Yeah. And it wasn't until he was 16 a few years ago that he actually turned around and I you know, I was lecturing him, right? I was giving him a lecture. We were out for a meal and I said, yeah, well, that's Steam. I said, you got to be very careful the people that you're chatting with on there if you don't know them. And he said, Dad, I've already dealt with the situation. I went, what? He said, I've already dealt with it. He said, when we get back, I'll show you the messages. And he showed me. And I was like, what? And this guy, you know, he's pretending to be a fucking teenager, but it wasn't. He was a fucking full-grown guy. He said he was offering me these vouchers, gift vouchers, whatever it was, and I was giving him his due. He didn't accept one. He showed me. And he said, no, he's a nonce. He just said that. He said, no, he said, it's so clear he's a nonce. And, you know, so kids, like you say about kids being aware about things, I think they are. But I was just shocked. I was like, what? I didn't even see that coming on Steam. You know, and that's how dangerous it is with the online sort of grooming aspects of it. But you've got to be very careful. Very careful. But I don't, you know, we can't write kids off as being thick. I mean, all right, he was 14 at the time, but he knew what it was. He knew someone was trying to groom him. It's like, well, you know, my mate wouldn't do that. Why would someone, you know?
Well, it's the whole thing. You know, they say, oh, your children shouldn't be doing this online. They shouldn't be doing that online. Yeah, there's certain things they shouldn't be viewing online, like age-restricted material. You know, not relevant to my age. My kids at the moment, you know, I can't protect them from the online chats, from the games and things like that they play.
No.
You know, like Roblox is actually the chats in game, so I don't see it. But everything else, I know what they're playing, and it's all age related. It's okay, but it's the people that are inside these games that are pretending to be children. Oh, do you want to meet up? And then you end up as some airy ass John from Huddersfield or something like that. This is like, and this happening on a daily occurrence.
Oh yes, yeah, it's happening more than we think it is. Just from his circle of friends. You know, they're not silly. Luckily, touch wood, you know, they're not silly. No. I mean, he's older now, so you know, he's near enough an adult now. But at that time, when he told me that, we got back home and he showed me, what was going on his Steam account. I was like, what? Like you said, once they get in game, there's an entirely different messaging platform.
Yeah.
And, and it's like, well, I don't see that. But he said, no, Dad, I didn't accept it. I knew what it was. He said, because people don't generally do that in these things, If one of my mates said, oh, here you go, it's a subscription to this, he'd be shocked, he said.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because, my
assholes.
kids are always asking, like, can I have this? Can I have that? Can I have £5 Robux and all that? And I'm thinking, fucking the guy who actually designed Roblox and all that must be minted, because it's all in-game purchasing, how much these... my kids can spend...
I used to have little jibes at my son about Roblox, and I said, this was graphics we had
as a
sort
kid.
of late 1980s.
Yeah.
What do you, with the games that you've got now, with all the big graphics and everything else, what do you see in this? I said, because, someone older like me, when I look at graphics like that, I'm like,
I was
why
playing
would you
Doom,
bother?
looking at graphics like that, playing Doom.
Yeah, Doom, yes, yeah. Fucking hell, it's going back a bit now. With
That's
the old,
showing your age. That's showing what we thought was good, and it was good back in the day. That was like technology.
Yeah, it was, yeah. But you look at it now, and you see kids playing that sort of style now. It's like, Jesus Christ. The graphics, in some ways, were even better back then in the 90s than what Roblox is. But I don't know what it is. I don't know what the attraction is. Yeah. But there you go. It takes all sorts nowadays. Well, takes all sorts.
It's been one of the top games now for how many years, and it's all different. God. I mean, it's got hundreds of different variants of different lands and worlds. It's mental.
Got to be at least 10 years now, isn't it? Bloody hell. Craziness,
yeah.
Mate, craziness.
It is, mate.
But, it certainly is. But it's good to see you, Chris. I'm glad you came out on my timeline tonight. It's good. It's good to talk to you. And when I saw you playing them videos in the week, I was like, oh man, brought back so many bloody memories. I know it ain't that long ago, but it was weird time. When you think about it, Chris, it was weird times, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, we were still in lockdown, weren't we? We were still in the old COVID stage, weren't we? This is what we were all fighting. It was the old Black Lives Matters, Coast and Statue came down. It was like...
Considering it was lockdown, do you know what? I don't think I've ever driven a car so much, because the roads were empty. I never got challenged, and I thought, to a certain point, I was like, oh, this is fucking great. There's no idiots on the road. Everyone's stuck at home.
I was on trains.
The motorways are empty. Yeah,
it was
brilliant.
Great. It was great times.
Thanks, Lisa, for putting the channel out there.
Yeah, she deals with
thanks, Lisa. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Chris, thanks for letting me on tonight.
Anytime. I'm going to bring Discord back. I'm going to bring StreamYard back, so I can put a StreamYard overlay in on my other show.
Oh, so brilliant. Yeah, nice
I can get people in on a panel, because it's easier.
Yeah, but this is old school, Chris. This is how we used to do it back in the day. Was on phones, wasn't it? From a phone box.
Well, we used to talk on a phone, didn't we? We didn't video chat or do things like that. It was all calls, wasn't it? Yeah.
Proper, mate. Proper
old school, Mike.
Got to be done. It's got to do it that way now and again. Good to see people in the chat there. I've seen a few names crop up. I've seen in there. Good to see you. Anyone else? I don't know. Hi. Thank you very much for putting up with my little mega whinge.
Mate, this is what the show's about. It's your voice, your choice, isn't it?
Get it off your chest.
Get it off your chest. So,
get it off your chest and keep
thanks for calling in, Mike.
No worries, Chris.
I'll save
it's been
your
great
number
to hear
off.
from you again.
Been a pleasure, mate.
I'm going to listen in the background, mate. I'm going to listen in the background, and thanks very much.
No worries, mate. You take care now.
Cheers, mate. Good night.
Ta-da.
Thanks a lot. Night.
There we go. That's that another one done. Oh, how long have we been going? How long? Let me have a look at the old countdown ticker. We've been going for 2 hours 48, 3 hours. I think it's cheers, mate. Thanks for that call. Thanks for the few calls. This is obviously first night. A little bit of I can take these off. A little bit of knowing how to do things. I'm going to bring it to an end, I think. And then next week, we'll have another one. So, throughout the week, I'm going to be looking at the topics for the show. And then on a Saturday, bring you the show and then take a few more calls. But hopefully once the algorithm gets picking this up, that this is going out, people are going to start coming back on. Because we've had fair hundreds in throughout the night. It did dip down a little bit and then came back up again. But yeah, until the... Oh, went a bit out of focus then, because picking up this one. Until the next time, guys, thanks for joining. Remember to hit that like button, share and sub. Yeah. Bye, guys.